Hailie Deegan has received another shock when it comes to her NASCAR career, and this time, it's a lot worse than she could have possibly anticipated. ThorSport Racing, the team that she currently races under, has made a move that does have the potential to end her show in the Truck Series, and after a move from Alpha Prime Racing, a team that competes in the Xfinity Series, Deegan's chances to switch categories have been lowered massively. But why did ThorSport leave her out on the dry when she needed them the most, and more importantly, is this the start of the spiral of her career drying out after so much hope and potential were put into it in the first place? This video has all the answers, so make sure to sit tight until the very end of it. When Hailie Deegan joined the Truck Series 3 years ago with the David Gilliland Racing, now known as Tricon Garage, it was one of the most amazing things that could have happened to the NASCAR world. Coming at the age of 18 and a superb 16th place finish at Kansas Speedway in 2020 was all it took for the fans to fall in love with her driving style as well as her ambition, not to mention that she represents the minority of women who ever raced in the NASCAR Series right after Danica Patrick. But it hasn't been all smiles and laughs for her in the Truck Series, especially not since she made the move from Tricon to ThorSport Racing, the team that is famously known for winning titles in this particular category. Not only did they favor her by giving her a championship-winning truck, but they also put in a crew chief who has worked with Ben Rhodes, the 2021 champion, and Rich Lushes. When he first saw what Hailie was capable of, Rich Lushes was more than excited to get working with Hailie and to show the world that there is a place for a female champion in the Truck Series, which would have only made Hailie's career go uphill from that point onward. However, the season hasn't even come remotely close to what everybody was expecting, and in the past week, ThorSport Racing has opted out of a move that has definitely aggravated Deegan and her fans. They decided to change Rich Lushes from his status as Hailie's crew chief and give him back his old position, leading the number 99 truck with his champion driver. The decision was only made saltier by the fact that Lushes has immediately started to discuss tactics with Ben Rhodes when it comes to exploiting Deegan's weaknesses. Just moments before their first race together, the coach was seen talking with his new and former driver, and some of the topics revolved around how he could take advantage of Hailie's weaknesses, which, to be fair, have been shown quite a lot in the past few months. Speaking about this matter, Lushes elaborated on the number 99's team radio. "So I explained to Rhodes that obviously we need to get to the bottom as soon as possible. We should be able to do that on the initial start here because more than likely she won't get a good start." With Deegan starting one row behind Rhodes, Lushes knew that there was little to no chance that all of a sudden she would have a solid start and would overtake his driver, and that was the outcome of the race. Rhodes finished inside the top 10, more precisely at P7, while Deegan had to settle for P17. Right now, Hailie Deegan has Brian Ross as her crew chief, and while I don't want to take any credit away from Brian, he comes nowhere near close to the championship experience that Lushes brought to the table. The fact that the team decided to make this switch only goes to show that there are a lot of moving parts when it comes to Hailie's career in the Truck Series, and part of that could be her actions on the track, with the latest one being against one of her fiercest nemeses, Dean Thompson. These two drivers often came together on track and were the main actors when it came to crashes during the course of the race, but one particular sentence that was sent from Deegan to her spotter has only made the upcoming races even more anticipated, as she threatened to take revenge on the 22-year-old Californian driver. While this is definitely the mentality that a driver needs to have if they want to succeed, being angry about moves that are made on the track by your enemy is not something that you can actually build your character on. When you let the emotions get the best of you, then it's safe to say that you become liable, and therefore you cannot be in control of your own mind and actions, which is why the actions in Kansas have shown why many teams are reluctant to pick Hailie as their starting driver in the foreseeable future. During the Kansas race, when both made contact and Hailie lost ground, her spotter was trying to calm her down and give her directions on how she could pass him properly and in a clean manner, while all Hailie had to say on this matter was, "I'm junking the mother effer." There wasn't any action on the track because Dean entered into the pit lane, which was probably the best thing that could have happened to Hailie, as she got some time to cool her head. But one thing is for sure, she is not in the best of positions right now, and the only thing that keeps her NASCAR career alive is her performance in the SRX. Yes, popularity is a good thing to have if you're a NASCAR driver, and coming as a female, I reckon there are many fans that would support the case that she is constantly under severe pressure to deliver performances as good as the male athletes who are perceived as naturals in the sport. sport. However, there is only so much that these traits can bring you, and this is something that Deegan has opened up about, as she spoke about the recent troubles she had during the Truck Series Championship and how that will affect her future. Talking about her recent performances, Deegan went on to say, 2 to 3 weeks ago, I felt like I was going in a downward spiral. When you aren't doing good in racing, at least in having those results. With that though, it becomes like, what if the sponsors are getting unhappy? Obviously, it makes it tougher to get new sponsors if I do want to move up to Xfinity, which I do. It makes it harder to find new sponsors when those results aren't there. Plain and simple, people look at the end result number and don't see whether you're getting better or not. With that, I just felt like I was spiraling, and my confidence was completely gone. I started questioning myself of like, can I really do this? Do I have it in me to go to that next level? Do I have the ability to? While she did go on to praise her coach, Kenny Wallace, for his massive impact during these hard times, it goes without saying that the future that Deegan has drawn ahead of her has now become a little bit more impossible, especially after a team that was rumored to pick her up in the Xfinity Series, Alpha Prime Racing, has decided to go in another direction and have signed Daniel Dye, who is currently driving the number 43 Chevrolet Silverado for GMS Racing in the Truck Series. This is basically a dream scenario that Hailie wanted to live, but due to her poor results and her being ranked only 19th in the current championship, it wasn't that achievable to her. This might be part of the bigger picture as to why her Xfinity Series dream is closer to dying than to turning into reality, and when talking about this matter, Deegan remained optimistic about what lies out there for her regarding this particular series, adding, "It's all just the financial side. I would love to go to Xfinity and would love to run full-time next year, but it's just the financial side. And you go from these truck racing budgets of having to raise enough money for that sponsorship for that, and then you go to Xfinity, which is about double or if not more. To run for A-level Xfinity, you're looking at $4 to $5 million. That's just the cold hard truth of it." Well, with everything that has happened to Deegan in the past couple of months, and quite honestly with the entire 2023 season, I guess it wouldn't be that hard to say that the sponsorship will definitely be the hardest part of her obtaining a seat in the Xfinity Series. To top that off, her performance hasn't been quite the deal maker for any team out there, so the only straw she is currently holding on to is the SRX. But that isn't the most stable straw you want to have in these desperate times. With this in mind, do you think that the crew chief replacement is the start of Deegan's downfall? And if so, what effect do you think Deegan will have on this situation? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to watch more videos of this character, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications.